I was compelled to work with Laurie-Ann. We had a 90-minute session where I got to pick an expert's brain about what to do and how to do things, from how to have an intro to your speaker tab, to on your website, to about how to find people to speak to, and really brainstorming things like that. So overall, it has really lit a fire underneath me to be able to go out there and speak and find things to help people.
This is Laurie-Ann, and you are listening to Be in Demand. This is the podcast where I help entrepreneurs just like you leverage speaking opportunities as your best form of marketing, get positioned as the expert, and monetize your message. Today is a very special speaker breakthrough session with my friend Samatha. Sam, welcome to the show. I'm so excited that you booked this appointment.
Yeah, I'm pumped to be here, Laurie-Ann. Thank you so much for having me on.
Share with me what you do and who you help.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm an associate professor at a college in Pennsylvania. That is my day job. And I also speak, and I'm an author and a podcast host, and I help support pre-service teachers who are studying. So these are students who are studying to be teachers. So they're education majors, student teachers, college students who are wanting to get into education, and just helping them to build up their confidence as they enter their student teaching. Or it's May, so it's interview season. So building confidence for those common interview questions. So just supporting them and letting them know, hey, you have the knowledge and the know-how. Let's just shine a light on the awesomeness that you have done throughout student teaching and your field work, and just helping them to shine bright. So that's the whole point of my message, just supporting those new teachers.
Thank you. That's a big undertaking, is helping. Think about the ripple effect of what you're doing.
Yes.
You are helping all of these future teachers, future educators, and all the people that they're going to be impacting. So thank you very much for your work. What would you like to get out of this call? What would help you the most?
I have some questions because I wrote some ideas. I didn't want to forget anything. And I've also been listening to the other episodes that you've recorded, spotlighting others. So I didn't want to ask similar questions. So one of my questions is, how do you sell from the stage without being salesy? So I'm an author and I have products, and I'll be speaking at a conference for, I think it's 7,000 future teachers in the summer. I'm super pumped to get a spot on the stage. I also have a vendor booth, so I have a follow-up question for that. But how do I hey, you guys are awesome. I want to support you. Come check out my stuff. Is it that easy, or am I thinking way too much into it?
Okay, tell me about some of your products.
Sure. So a lot of them are digital that student teachers can download. So one is a student teacher planner to help them get organized and ready to go from day one, walking into the classroom. Some of them are more products geared towards reflection and organization during student teaching. So a lot of them are geared towards that group of educators. So they're going to be the ones that are in the long-term fields. All right, I'm doing my hours, or I'm observing. What do I even look for? Because you don't want to be the creeper in the back of the notebook just writing random stuff down. You need to be focused and identify, here are some key points. So those are a lot of my digital products that help support them in that area.
Is everything digital?
Yes.
Okay. I want to encourage you just to think about this. Having something that is physical that people can buy. And it could be one of your digital programs that's just printed.
Well, I have a book. I have 4 books.
Perfect. Well, I'm just thinking of, because for your vendor booth, that way it's not just you sitting there with an empty table. Hi, come talk to me. But there are things for people to look at. No one's going to throw away a book, but goal setting apps, for example, that I have on my own phone is out of sight, out of mind. Whereas a physical book that's sitting on my desk, people see it over and over.
Idea.
So just something to think about, because you will also still have people who actually still like physical products.
Me.
So, and as a teacher, the neurological benefit of actually writing stuff down.
Yes.
So the talk that you're giving in front of 7,000 people, which is fabulous. How do you sell from the stage? I get this question all the time, and it is about planting little seeds. This is one of those things that I do teach my clients, because at some point in your speaking career, you're going to get asked to speak, and they'll say, but you can't promote your products. And it's mostly because a meeting planner has been burned before, where they invited somebody to speak and then it was like an infomercial for the audience. And then they hear about it later in the reviews, or whether they bought a ticket to the conference or it's a membership, like a chamber or some sort of an association. These people are paying customers.
Mm-hmm.
So to plant little seeds, so that this is what I want the audience to think. Oh, Sam also has another talk. Like, I want you to plant the seed of another talk that you have. Oh, she's got this digital organizer so that I can plan the entire year. Like, you literally could talk about a segment of it. Oh, she's got a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to just plant little seeds in your speech where you are referring or talking about things. So we tell stories. You may be explaining a point, and let's just say it's about one of your digital products. What's the name of one of them?
It's a student teacher planner.
The student teacher planner. So you may be talking about like the benefits of being organized, and inside my student teacher planner, there are sections that are specifically geared to, like, here's the goals and here's the actual pages that you're going to be going over. Like, what's the textbook that you're going to be using that year? I'm just making stuff up right now. So I hope I'm doing okay.
You're doing great.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then at the end, you just invite people. Like, one, I would definitely invite people to go to your podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
And depending on what your speech is about, could really be very specific to hear the episodes. Like, I want you to listen to this, and this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And have a slide up there that just tells people, or you could even make like a Spotify playlist.
That's what I do. Yes.
Fabulous. Mm-hmm. So that
have
now people are they're going right to that playlist. They're downloading it. It's easy. It's nice. Don't rely on a QR code though.
Oh, okay.
Don't rely on it. You can still have it up there, but just in case, like, the Wi-Fi is not working in the conference hall. I mean, you're talking about 7,000 people. It's pretty big. You just never know. So also just have that slide that also has, here are the specific episodes, a graphic of your podcast. So now everyone in the audience is pulling out their phone, they're bringing up your podcast, and they're going to download those specific episodes just in case the Wi-Fi is not working.
I love that idea. And that's a great way for them to keep up with the conversation in an area that they're interested in. So it's not just, hey, go check out the podcast. Here's a targeted, recommended list of episodes that relate to this topic. I love that.
And here's another reason why I love doing this, especially if you are talking about a topic or a particular tip and you don't have enough time to really dive into it. That way you can just say, I don't have time to dive more into this, but if this interests you, go listen to this episode.
Yeah.
So you literally could be sharing this throughout your presentation. You could have, several episodes that you are guiding people to. So make sure you have those episodes. When is this speaking event, by the way?
At the end of June.
At the end of June. Okay, so you got a few weeks.
Yeah.
So if you need to add a couple of extra very specific episodes, you have time to do that as well. And those specific episodes, depending on what your talk is about, because we didn't discuss that, could also then lead to the product. Mm-hmm. So you see, so here's your speech. You're going to tell people to listen to a very specific episode. And from that specific episode, you could be talking about one of your digital products. And the link is down below for you to get yours. There could be a coupon code.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I also have at the end of my speech a slide that goes to a Talkadot survey. I don't know if you've used Talkadot. Mm-hmm. Is it Talkadot or Talk-A-Lot? Talkadot a lot? Something like that.
Talkadot. I know which one you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, that has been so fabulous and beneficial with feedback. And those are easy to share on social. So I've enjoyed using that too.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. My next question, and they're kind of all over the place. I'm sorry they're not in any organized manner.
That's okay. We'll answer as many as we can.
Okay. On my website, I feel like when you go there, there are like, so I have a book, I have my digital products, I have my podcast, I have like, for the podcast, it's like blog posts, but it's really like show notes and things like that. How do I make it more of a cohesive space? Or maybe it just needs to be separated, and that's okay. And I have like speaking pages and stuff like that. So yes, I do have a speaking page, and it has topics and images and all that good stuff. So how do I go about making it more like, here's the welcome page, I'm welcoming you to my site. Check out all these awesome things, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed right away.
So let's make it nice and simple for people. And you've got free resources like your podcast, but you've also got your shop. Here are some things that, like my digital products. So you really could just take people down, like, here's who I am. Here's the problem that I solve. Here are the people that I help. If you are XYZ, you're in the right place. Here's some free resources because I'm sure you've got some other free things besides just your podcast. You appear to be very organized. I like the way that you think. Here are the things that you can buy from me that are going to help you, stay organized. What were some of the other things? Reflections.
Yeah.
What I'm picturing is a list of to be organized for reflection, almost if you had these drop-down menus that people could, I'm curious about what she has about reflection or about getting organized, and those products would just show up.
Okay.
So I think if you have that intention of, I'm just going to make this super simple, it's going to be one page, like a one-page website, but it could take people like to another section who want to dive deeper into all of your different products, all of your different podcast episodes. Let them go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I like that. And have some guideposts along the way so they know they're going the right direction.
Yes.
So this is one of the first times, this is only the second time I've been a vendor at a major conference, and my speech isn't until the second day. So how do I hype people up from a vendor booth? They're like, hey, I'm super excited to be here. And if you like to, this session's about AI and education, like, let's go learn more about this during my session. Like, is there like, I was thinking like little like cards or little things that to remember, like the session that'll be the following day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, they'll come if they want. But
here's my philosophy and how I approach when I'm at a conference. So are you speaking on the main stage or are you speaking at a breakout session?
in a breakout.
Okay. Your job is to promote that breakout session.
Okay.
During the first day, have some signage that's at your booth that tells people, here's when I'm speaking, here's the room that I'm speaking at. Get on social. All the people who are following you, let them know this is the time that I'm speaking. This is the day that I'm speaking. Here's where you're going to find me. And just keep promoting yourself because you are competing with other speakers who are speaking at the same time. And keep using the hashtag for that particular conference if they have one. You're going to get noticed also by the meeting planners. I would be letting people know on your email list now about this. Let's start getting those people in there. Here's what I'm talking about. You might even drop like a teeny tiny hint beforehand. Here's one of the tips I'm going to be sharing.
Oh, I like that.
Another great idea, especially since you have digital products, is to give one or two away. If you're in my room, I'm going to be giving some prizes away.
Yeah.
So now we've got more incentive to be there. And you can come up with some great fun game, how you decide on who gets one of your digital products.
Yeah.
It could be who's got a birthday, who traveled the farthest. I mean, think of some really fun ways. That way you're that speaker that people are raving about, remembering and referring.
Yes. Yes. I'm the first session on a Friday morning. And so I was thinking about going to the room and putting like a sticky note under one of the chairs. Look under your chairs, like, congratulations, you won. Here's a book bundle. Here's the student teacher planner bundle. So if you have a pink one or a yellow one, just put a few of those underneath random chairs. I think that'd be kind of cool. I also have one of those like wheels that you spin and go, and then like digital one and an actual one that they spin. So it's going to go like around, because it's in DC. So I was going to go to some coffee shops that were around the convention center and grab like $5 gift cards. I'd promote
Perfect.
small business. Think that'd be kind of cool. Teachers run on coffee, so that's going to be great.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Do it.
All right, cool.
You might even want to see if a local Dunkin' Donuts will actually sponsor.
That'd be smart.
They would like love that. Or like you get there a couple of days early. I mean, Starbucks also does a lot of stuff like that as well, that they probably will like, here you go. Here's like two $20 gift cards.
Yeah.
If you're going to put a sticky note underneath a seat, make sure you tape it.
Yeah. Have that extra tape. Yes.
Yes.
Smart.
And you might even just want to use your business card.
Oh yeah, I could totally do that.
Yeah, let the first person who raises their hand and says, I have a business card under my seat, they could be the first person that decides, all right, here are the two gifts. Which one do you want?
Which one would you like? Yeah.
And
Oh, I
then
love
the
that.
second person, they get the second one.
This conference that I'm speaking at, it's a national organization, and they actually have my podcast listed as a resource on their website. So I was wondering, how can I connect with the organizer and say, hey, I noticed you have my podcast listed as a resource on your website. Would you be willing to send an email out to your people about, hey, Sam's coming to our conference, she's sharing about this? I don't like, how do I phrase something like that? And like, oh, hey, I'm so glad you're promoting this. Can we push it a little further?
I would just
Just
ask.
Okay.
Just ask. I mean, exactly the way that you just presented it to me. Hey, I noticed that my podcast is now one of your resources. Thank you very much. I'm flattered and glad that you think that it's that much of a resource that you're promoting it to people. Is there any way that we could share this with the entire email list and not just the people who are coming to the conference? I was going to say, and let's also, you love how I say let's, like,
let's do this.
Like you and I are doing this together, but see what you can do in conjunction with them. Make it about them. Like you might even do a special podcast interview with somebody who's in the organization, so that now we're talking more about the organization, the association, the conference that they put on each year. Have them come onto your podcast, and here's what's in it for them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm planning on doing live podcasting there with any speakers that would like to join, and definitely students that are wanting to be teachers. So have a little form up. They can sign up and do that at the vendor booth. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So once the conference is done, yay, that was great. But how do I keep that momentum going? And how do I let other people know, like beyond my email list, hey, I spoke at this thing and it was awesome. Is it okay to do like a follow-up episode on a podcast? Like, hey, I spoke at this conference and this is what we did. And if you were there, that, we shared about this. And, okay.
Yes. And yes. Okay. On my podcast, I have done behind the scenes from beginning to end of working with certain corporate clients, certain events that I have spoken at, so that people can see it's not just you show up that day and you speak for that 45-minute slot and that's it. There's so much more that goes into it. But the benefit of having a podcast and also being a speaker is that you can teach people basically what it's like to work with you, what it's like to hire you, how you actually view each speaking event, because they may seriously think we have to do a pre-meeting. And here's why I do the pre-meeting. And explaining all of that on a podcast. So now you're really increasing the value of yourself as a speaker.
Right. Oh, awesome. And then my last question is, how can I better use my podcast to promote speaking?
Talking about events, talking about your different talks. You literally could do an episode on, here are all the different talks that you can hire me for your conference, for your event. And then you could dive deeper into each of those particular talks, what you cover, who this talk is perfect for, this particular type of audience. It can be given at a conference. It can be given as a workshop. So individual, so that now on your website, when you have your talks listed, you can also refer people to go listen to this podcast episode.
Yes, I love that. And that all just goes together so nicely.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like building your brand. So now you're building your podcast. Your podcast is promoting you as a speaker. Your website's promoting you,
Yes.
as a speaker and as a podcaster. And it's just, you're just getting your message out there so much more effectively.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Wonderful.
Yay.
This has been great.
Yes.
These were great questions.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me through them. I appreciate that.
Great. So my final question for you is, what are one or two gold nuggets that you are walking away with?
Sure. Definitely the planting of the seeds. And planting that throughout my talk and referring to other resources that I have throughout the talk without being, go buy this. It's like, oh, and I have a podcast episode about that. I'd love having a spot on the talk that shares here specific list of episodes to check out, either do a tiny URL or a bit.ly with a QR code, and then go check that out. I also loved, and I don't know why I didn't think of this one for the vendor booth, like having signage about your session. That's so easy and that's so doable. You can make it super cute, like put it in a beautiful little frame and like, yeah, I am so excited about that. I know it's something small, but it
could be a whiteboard just in case they change their mind. We're moving your session to this room. I mean, like keep it simple, but also like have candy at your vendor table.
Yeah.
People love to just stop. Yeah. They will stop by for chocolate.
All right. I'll get the good stuff, the Dove.
Always get the good stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. So would you let people know where they can find you and tell people about your podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me over on sfecich.com. That's SFECICH.com. And my podcast is called Edgy Magic.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. So everybody make sure you go and follow her and download some of those episodes and leave a review for her as well, because that will help her as well. Are you tired of hearing crickets on social media? Wondering where to get seen by the right people? Or frustrated with the growth of your business? Then the Speaker Breakthrough Session is just for you. During this free 20-minute discovery call, I'll help you recognize where you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. You'll walk away with tips and a strategy to leverage speaking opportunities to get positioned as the expert, visible to the right people, and monetize your expertise. Book your call at speakandstandout.com/SBS for Speaker Breakthrough Session.